Welcome to the City Club of Eugene's December 17, 2021 program, Gifts to the City of Eugene 2021. This is the 14th program for our 2021-22 programming year. I'm Kitty Piercy, and I'm the City Club President. Support for the City Club is provided by our members and sponsors. You can become a City Club member of the City Club at our website, cityclubofeugene.org. Our programs are always available on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and our podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts. Programs are broadcast on public radio station KLCC 89.7 on Mondays at 7. We have both business and in-kind sponsors, including our diamond sponsors, Kaiser, Permanente, University of Oregon, Peace Health, and Lane Community College, as well as generous support for the City of Eugene and from Lane County. In today's program, we welcome speakers, Slug Queen Holly Goes Slugly, or by birth, Debbie Williamson Smith. Next up is Silky Booker, President, Oregon Black Business Alliance winner, followed by Beth Stein, Executive Director of Nearby Nature, Karen Clark of the Karen Clark Gallery, Aisha Elliott, writer and podcaster, Black Girl from Eugene, Roger Jensen, founder of Bent Spoke, Gabe Castile, tiny home builder, Carry It Forward, Ryan Moore, Springfield City Tenant Association, Sandra Shortridge, Native American activist and MLK Award, and finally, Lily Reynolds Parker, retired U of O counselor and sort of revered personality in our community. And today we will have a moderator, Dan Bryant, Executive Director at Square One Villages. Biographical information on our speakers is available on our website, cityclubofeugene.org. I would like to thank John Belcher and Mary Layton for coordinating today's program, Gifts to the City. At the end of every calendar year, City Club of Eugene hosts a program called Gifts to the City. An array of people whose community involvement gives them unique perspectives on Eugene are invited to reply to this prompt. Imagine you have a magic wand. You can use it to produce a gift to our city that will make it an even better place for all of us to live. What would you give? 10 distinguished Eugenians have accepted this challenge. In this program, each will describe their gift and why they believe it will be useful. Former City Club President and housing activist Dan Bryant will offer introductions. And now I'm going to turn the program over to Dan Bryant, our host for this year's holiday gift program.
Thank you, Kitty, and thank you, City Club, for this opportunity to participate once again in this wonderful tradition. You know, it was at this event 23 years ago that I first began my involvement with the City Club, and so it is a delight once again to participate, to spread some of the cheer of the season. And this season, this year, has not been one with a lot of cheer. Unless, of course, your fantasy is to be a bank robber and putting on a mask before you go into a store gives you a cheap thrill. But have no fear, we are here to share some cheer with you. Have you ever wondered, what do you give the city that has just about everything it needs? I mean, we have the arts, we have the outdoors, we have 2 buttes, and a river runs through it. If only we had Brad Pitt to go along. We have deer in our backyard, we have wild turkeys in the front, and we have the ducks on TV.
Kenny Wayne's gonna score! Kenny Wayne is gonna score!
I hear Santa is also bringing us a new head coach this season. So what then do you get the city for whom it is so hard to find that perfect gift? Well, we have some ideas, 10 of them to be precise, from a wonderful group of Eugenians, new and old, shouldn't say old, longtime members of our community, because in the Emerald City, you never grow old. Some people just grow more moss than others. Well, and what better place to start than with our very own queen, that wonderful, quirky Eugene tradition of the Slug Queen. Unfortunately, we could not obtain the services of the current royal slimeness, so instead we have the former queen. Queens can be former, or our slug queens like presidents. They never lose their title, they just lose some of their slime. We wish, right? In any case, we have Holly Go Slugley, also known as Debbie Williamson Smith, who says it wasn't the lofty title that attracted her to this position, though she says any opportunity to wear lots of glitter is a good one. No, she says this was an opportunity to promote to one of her passions, the local arts in general, in particular, Jordan Schnitzler Museum of Art, where she has served as the communications manager for many years. And so we welcome the once and perhaps always royal Holly Go Slugley on this, the 10th anniversary of her brief reign as Eugene's very own down-to-earth queen. Down-to-earth, slug, you got it right. So hard to judge an audience on Zoom. Start us off, Queen Go Slugley.
Oh, hi, Eugene. My name's Holly Go Slugley, and I've been asked to come here today and present a gift to you. I spent the day kind of pondering what it might be that Eugene needs. Do you need some more slime? Do you need some extra shimmer? And I decided what I'd like to give to you is the reminder of how much joy exists within you. So, my beloved community of Eugene, today I present to you Happiness Is. Happiness is artist making art on walls, sidewalks, and paper. Happiness is the Black Girl from Eugene podcast. If you aren't listening to it, you should be. Happiness is fresh food from the farmer's market, bees buzzing around Owen's rose garden, a bike ride with a friend. Happiness is youth advocating for climate change, advocating for justice, advocating for themselves. Happiness is new voices on school boards. Happiness is volunteering at any place, anywhere, anytime that brings you joy. Happiness is the people who deliver burritos and sandwiches to free pantries all over our community. Happiness is donating money to the NAACP in honor of Eric Richardson. Happiness is learning about another culture. Happiness is community festivals, the Asian celebration, Juneteenth, Fiesta Cultural, Dia de los Muertos. Happiness is the library. Happiness is the Holt Center. Happiness is the symphony, the sound of strings playing through the halls. Happiness is football games. And happiness is campus in fall. Happiness is Miss Lily Reynolds Parker owning her very first home. Happiness is change. Happiness is growth. Happiness is community. Happiness is eating local, shopping local, living local, giving local. Happiness is science. Happiness is herd immunity. Happiness is looking out for one another. Happiness is voting. Happiness is using your voice. Happiness is community. And happiness is you. Peace.
Thank you, Debbie. I mean, your slimeness. Having heard now from the Queen, it seems only fitting that we hear from the King. Dr. Silky J. Booker may perhaps be better known locally as King Silky from his on-air radio broadcast on Cool 99.1. After 15 years serving our country in the U.S. Air Force, Dr. Booker went on to earn his graduate and undergraduate degrees and was bestowed an honorary doctorate by the United Graduate College and Seminary International. Using his on-air personality, wit, and wisdom, he has been a voice of empowerment and inspiration in our community, and has helped various nonprofits raise thousands of dollars and has donated hundreds of King Silky's blessing boxes to families in need during this pandemic. He is the founder and the chair of the Oregon Black Chamber of Commerce. Last month, Governor Brown appointed Dr. Booker to the Oregon Commission on Black Affairs. We welcome Dr. Booker and look forward to his gift to our community.
Happy holidays, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Silky J. Booker. I'm a state commissioner, philanthropist, radio show host, and chairman of the Oregon Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm humbled and honored to be here with you during this most joyous time of year. When I was first approached about participating in the Eugene City Club Gifts to the City, I was perplexed on how I wanted to present my gift to the city. Did I want to be whimsical, funny, studious, or impassioned? I took some time to brainstorm with a friend that had an incredible difficult few months, and while supporting my friend, I could see that they could really benefit from the gift of time. Time, more time with a loved one, more time in the day to work and care for family, more time for self-care, and more time to make a difference. I pondered a little longer and I kept coming back to the concept of time. Nothing is more valuable than one's time. I hold very near and dear to my heart acts of kindness, whether they be random or intentional. So how could I incorporate time into my gift to the city? Well, here's what I came up with. In keeping with the spirit of giving time, I devised a plan that would incentivize citizens to perform acts of kindness while earning money to support their families. So by performing 10 acts of kindness, a family can earn up to $5,000 a year, but as with anything else, there's a catch. In order to receive the money, the acts of kindness have to meet a certain criteria in 5 different areas. Citizens must perform 2 acts of kindness in each of the 5 categories, and they must be signed off by the institution or person the citizen has volunteered with. The 5 areas of acts of kindness that each Eugenian can choose to give their time to are as follows. Environmental justice. Get out there and bring awareness to pollution, air quality, trash removal, or some other environmental issue that affects areas of high poverty, and make a difference by giving of your time. Human rights. Find an initiative or cause and get behind it. Is it sexism, racism, ageism, classism, or any other ism created from fear? Find a way to make a difference by the giving of your time. Education. With short staffing and issues that have plagued the school system, volunteerism in schools and learning institutions is critical for our future. We need to focus more on our youth. They need to not only see us in their environment, helping them to succeed, but also allowing them to shadow us in our work environment. So, you guessed it, make a difference by the giving of your time. Culture. Learn, donate resources, visit with, and participate directly with Black, Native, or other ethnic cultures outside of your own culture, who historically have been enslaved, persecuted, and caused genocide on generations. And make sure you bring awareness to cultural similarities. Make a difference by the giving of your time. The elderly. I saved the best for last. Find a way to help and honor our elders. Our elders are the receipt keepers and our living historical documentation. They are the reason we are here, and they provide the blueprints of what to do and what not to do for us to have a better future. So make a difference by the giving of your time. Lastly, Eugene is the 3rd largest city in Oregon, and 17% of our residents live in poverty. Now, can you imagine in a city where 176,464 people call home, what an impact can be made if we gave our time for the betterment of our city and in turn earn $5,000 just for doing 10 acts of kindness a year? I personally feel it would be a beautiful gift. Kindness spreads joy. Joyful people tend to be extraordinarily kind. This isn't a coincidence. So, Eugene City Club Gifts to the City, I give the gift of time. Let's all go out and make a difference by the giving of your time. Thank you. I am Dr. Silky J. Booker, and I appreciate being a part of Eugene City Gifts to the City. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Booker. Next up, we have Beth Stein, the Executive Director of Nearby Nature, where she has worked since 1994, serving in a variety of capacities and becoming eventually the executive director. Beth seeks daily to connect youth with the wonders of the natural world here in our community. From training volunteers to teaching preschoolers, writing grants to doing payroll, she wears a wide assortment of hats and has even been known to don a frog costume as Franny the Frog in order to teach our youth about nature. One of her favorite roles is that of a storyteller, and she often tells her staff and volunteers that if you can tell a good story, you can do anything. Well, Beth, we look forward to the story and the gift that you have to offer to us today.
Thanks so much for inviting me here today. I am honored and pleased to give a gift to the city of Eugene and everyone who lives in our community. My name is Beth Stein. I'm the executive director of Nearby Nature, and I am honored to have the pleasure and privilege of working in what I call the green heart of Eugene, the Wheelamoot Natural Area of Alton Baker Park, which is so named to honor the Kalapuya people, the original native people of our area. So if there's anything I've learned in the last couple of years and regained faith in, frankly, is the mission of my organization and what I do for a living, and that is to get people out in nature. If there's one thing that we've been able to do in the last couple of years safely and with health, is to get out in nature. And so I'm very happy to live in a place that is blessed with so much of an abundance of beautiful places to visit. From oceans to deserts, forests to rivers, we have it all here in Oregon. But even more important in a lot of ways is what we have right here in our own community, and that is nature nearby. So I'm speaking today here from Alton Baker Park, and I can assure you there is no lack of amazing nature right here in our community, right outside of our doors. In fact, we had kids. In the last 2 years, we've had kids out in nature for over 30,000 hours total in nature nearby. So there's a lot to do around here. And so my gift to the city today is simply this, a simple, happy, healthy half an hour in nature nearby for everyone in my community. If you're listening now, I hope that you will take advantage of this gift. If not today, sometime soon. Put on a raincoat, a hat, mittens, whatever makes you comfortable going outside. Ideally, you go on foot or on a bike, but if you need to drive or take the bus, that's also just fine. But the key thing is don't venture far. This is about nearby nature. So I'd like you to explore somewhere new. Maybe that means checking out the park down the street that you've never visited before. Maybe it means going on a different route on your regular neighborhood walk. Maybe it means just going outside in your own backyard and sitting in your yard for a little bit. Something that you haven't done a lot of recently. And when you go out, it's important that however far you go, I do want you to immerse yourself. I want you to immerse yourself in nature. And if possible, leave your phone behind. If it's not possible, leave it behind, turn it off. Maybe you could even try to leave behind your list of things to do, although I know that that goes everywhere with me in my head. And in fact, the reality is on many walks that I've taken, I have actually solved a problem just by going out on that walk in nature. So, you know, if you bring along a little bit of baggage, that's okay. And I know that I don't want you to worry a lot basically about, you know, what the technicalities are, but I do want you to be present. So by being present, I want you to look around you, and pick up something beautiful. Maybe it's a leaf or a stone, a seed or a cone. Just pick up something, hold it in your hand. Is it heavy? Is it soft? Is it prickly? What is it like in your hand? And then close your eyes. And sometimes I ask kids to hold up a hand, and every sound they hear to put up another finger. So maybe you'll hear a raindrop, maybe you'll hear a bird, maybe you'll hear a voice, maybe you'll even hear a car, but listen with your eyes closed. Smell, you won't have to be wearing your mask if you're outside. Smell, even the rain has a smell. And just be present. Eventually you will have to go back inside, but I can almost guarantee you that you will be less stressed, happier, and lighter. Now, I have one final request of you, and one, I guess, an invitation really, and that is to take my gift and in the spirit of living lightly, which is something we also promote at Nearby Nature, I want you to re-gift my gift. I want you to find somebody you know, maybe somebody who doesn't get out very often, whether that's because they can't or because they feel like they don't like to go outside. Find somebody who doesn't get out very often, and I want you to get them outside. Maybe it's the coworker who doesn't ever seem to get up from their desk. Maybe it's a teen who's stressed by the state of the world. Maybe it's your grandfather who is in a wheelchair. Maybe it's your child or a little kid in the apartment next door. Just find somebody who needs that gift of nature, and get them outside. I guarantee you that will be a great experience for you, especially if you take a little kid outside, because little kids, you won't have to go far at all, and they find magic everywhere in the tiniest little patch of nature. They'll find the feather that no one else saw. They'll see the cool little pebble. They'll notice the wind-blown lichen that's fallen on the ground, and they'll pick it up. They'll find something beautiful for you to look at. So basically, just find somebody who needs that gift of nature and take them out. And remember, again, don't go far, and keep it simple, and keep it something that you can do again, because that's the virtue of nature nearby, is that you can go back again and again. So I wish you all the best in this second of years that are one of a kind. I hope you enjoy my gift of nature nearby yourself, and you take time to find someone that needs that gift as well, and make it a gift that keeps on giving. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my space in the Green Heart of Eugene in Alton Baker Park sometime.
Thank you, Beth, for your gift to us. Anyone remember that effort to make the slogan of Eugene the greatest city for the arts and the outdoors? Well, today is a good example. We go from Nearby Nature to a nearby art gallery. Karen Clark is the owner and director of Karen Clark Gallery in downtown Eugene. The gallery opened in 2002 with the goal of creating museum quality shows to recognize local and regional artists, including the work of her own parents, Margaret Coe and the late Mark Clark. Since then, she's organized hundreds of exhibits, and she regularly curates from the estates of some of Oregon's most sought-after artists. In February of this year, she expanded, opening the Karen Clark at the Gordon, that wonderful new addition in the 5th Street Market Alley. Running a gallery in the midst of a pandemic is not an easy task, but Karen has managed to adapt, even if it means opening for a single customer or doing virtual tours for her clients. Whatever her gift, we know it will be creative. Karen?
Hello. Thank you, City Club, for inviting me to give a gift to the city of Eugene. And it's an exciting one. I spared no expense. I grew up here, the daughter of 2 artists. My brother Tim and I really enjoyed watching the science fiction shows of the 1970s, especially anything that had to do with space-age travel, like Star Trek transporting, or the animated show The Jetsons. My family, being starving artists and all, didn't do anything particularly extravagant. We would really only travel places if it involved delivering art. So we missed out on amusement parks and things like that. But one time we went to Seattle, and I was introduced to the monorail. The monorail in Seattle, of course, was built for the 1962 Seattle World's Fair. Apparently it cost $3.5 million, and in the 6 months of the fair, it more than paid for itself, which I thought was interesting. So my gift to the city is inspired by this experience with the monorail. And I'm giving the city the art bridge and rail system that I've dreamed up. It's a half monorail, and it's a half walking bridge. It connects the Holt Center for the Performing Arts, which is the core of the Cultural Center of Eugene, with the Jordan Schnitzer Museum in the center of our beautiful University of Oregon campus. So there's two parts to it. The walking bridge, which was inspired by a recent visit I took to the Tacoma-Chihuly Bridge, is a walking bridge that's walls have cased in displays of visual art. In this case, it'll be local artists, both historical and contemporary. We'll also have local poets, writings on display, performance videos, local dancers, and people can enjoy these as they do the lovely walk from downtown to campus area and back. The high-speed monorail will zip people lightning speed from downtown to campus. And just to kick it up a notch, I think it would be a good idea to do kind of an immersive visual experience, kind of like the Van Gogh exhibit that's happening up in Portland. So the ceilings and the walls would be projected with visual arts and performing arts and music, you know, further celebrating all the artists in our area. So this will allow locals and visitors a culturally rich experience, as well as providing an actual physical connection between our downtown and the center of our university. It'll help with transportation and parking issues, and more than that, add a wonderful architectural element to our beautiful city. And I can't wait to see this happen. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Karen. We are blessed in this community with a wealth of talent, people who seek to make us a better community. Some do it through the arts, like Karen. Some do it through active engagement on critical issues that define who we are and who we seek to be. Our next gift giver is one of those. Aisha Elliott is a writer, motivational speaker, and educator who specializes on racial equity issues. And she produces a popular podcast, Black Girl from Eugene. As a consultant, Aisha provides assistance to those who want to create an inclusive environment, be it in their business or in classrooms or their nonprofit or even in their personal relationships. Aisha brings a unique approach to diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts developed over 25 years of her own work to facilitate conversation using a developmental understanding and personal connection to the issues. Whether working with small businesses or nonprofits or government agencies or healthcare systems, she helps groups to align intent with impact to bring meaningful change. We are delighted to hear in person from this Black girl from Eugene.
Right on. Hi, I am Aisha Elliott. I am Black girl from Eugene. And I have lived in this community for a good majority of my life. The work that I do is directly related to my experience and my love for the community. I am a podcaster, a writer, race, equity, and inclusion educator. I am a founder of a nonprofit, equity-based nonprofit, Kids for the Culture, and I have created and implemented the curriculum and programming for an equity-based program called Nurturing Black. So quite a bit of my work is based in how this community can embrace the new caveats and challenges to race equity. I speak with a lot of the community and I speak with a lot of businesses and nonprofits and moms and dads and non-binary families, and we have a whole gamut of understanding how race is a relationship that we have. Our relationship with racism is something extremely important. So I talk about this a lot. I talk about it every day. It's the basis of who I am and what I do. So my gift to the city of Eugene is the courage, patience, and flexibility of constructive conflict. I would love to see the people of Eugene be able to have a conversation that is scary, a conversation that you may not know all of the details about. And the ability to have constructive conflict in order to work past the differences and the bridges that have been broken, and to be able to heal them back, right? To be able to do that work in order for us to be able to live in a space where everyone feels like it's an inclusive and whole place to be, where no one has to be concerned about the harm that they may encounter walking into a space that may not recognize who and how they live their lives. It's really important that we get comfortable with constructive conflict, because we cannot face the challenges that Eugene faces when it comes to progressive inclusivity, and not be able to have these very uncomfortable conversations with grace and with love. So I'm trying to gift this to the city of Eugene. I do gift to the city of Eugene the ability, the courage, the flexibility of constructive conflict. And I promise you, if we can get really good at that, a lot of the issues we have around race and inclusion can get washed out and dealt with in a very authentic way, which means that everyone at the table could be heard and could be listened to, could be respected, and walk away from the table feeling those very virtues that create an environment of love and respect.
Thank you, Aisha, for your gift and for your impact in this community. Speaking of impact, Roger Jensen is making a real impact on the streets of Eugene through the organization he founded, Bent Spoke Outreach, a grassroots humanitarian service that uses bicycles and trailers to serve the unhoused members of our community. Working at the Eugene mission during a COVID crisis, Roger realized that the pandemic was inhibiting access to services by those who needed it most. So he began just by loading up his bicycle and trailer with supplies and hitting the street. It wasn't long before others began joining him and partnering with other groups like the Mission, the Burrito Brigade, and the Way Home to get basic necessities to those who need them most. Bent Spoke volunteers ride between 1,200 and 1,500 miles every month, bringing 600 to 800 meals, supplies, bedding, and other necessities every week to people on the street. They also help individuals get into temporary or even permanent housing. Roger, we look forward to the gift you have to offer.
Well, thank you, City Club, for giving me this opportunity to give a gift to something I love so much, and that's Eugene. I came here 35 years ago and fell in love at first sight. And, I thought, what do I get a community that has everything? And it's not something that we can buy on Amazon. I think this one we're gonna have to make this gift together. And what I'm talking about specifically is our current crisis with the unhoused and marginalized neighbors that we have in this community. A year ago, one crazy guy, me, started with a bicycle and a burly trailer and gathered some meager items like blankets, some food, some clothing, and just went out riding at night along the bike paths and looking for people that could use a little bit of help. Just want to share a little kindness, maybe light up the darkness a little bit. And that was, I think, within 2 weeks, will be a year ago. It's gone by pretty fast. And it's still today one crazy guy. But over this course of the year, we built a tremendous coalition of talented people, donors, groups, agencies, and what went from maybe helping 100 people in a week, we now help 140 to 180 people a night, each night that we go out. And it wouldn't have been possible without this unity of like-minded people that are just trying to help during a terrible time and a very tough issue. So I guess the gift, more specifically to name it, would be unified collaboration. You know, we've got so many talented people out here, caring and very kind people, but there's not much unification between all these groups. And this leads to some inefficiencies, some duplication, or total lack of services that are critically needed. And if we can find a way, if we can build this together, this coalition, unified coalition, to tackle this huge issue that's growing, that you know, I think we have the power to really change things. You know, Bent's Folk is joining forces with Everyone Village, and Everyone Village is the first time I've seen in a year so many groups, individuals, agencies, departments are coming together, and it's exciting. We're going to affect change, but in reality, the problem's much more than what Everyone Village can tackle alone. So we need all hands on deck. Hopefully we can all get on the same page, increase our communication with each other, and unify to light up the darkness in our great community. I thank you for your time, and happy holidays to everyone. Love you, Eugene.
Thank you, Roger, for your gift and for your service. Another person who is doing tremendous work in our community to relieve the suffering of people is someone I happen to know very well, Gabe Castile, because he has been the lead carpenter for Square One Villages, the organization I direct, building tiny homes at Emerald Village Eugene and Cottage Village in Cottage Grove. And that work led him to another nonprofit, Carry It Forward, to build durable, insulated 5x9 shelters they call track homes for those in need of a safe and a warm place to sleep. And Gabe doesn't just build quality tiny homes. He also loves teaching people the skills they need to build their own housing or to gain skills for employment. Gabe is a skilled carpenter with a big heart and a passion to help. And unless he blows this assignment, I hope we'll be working for Square One again. Gabe, build something for us, will you?
My name's Gabe Castile, and I'm the lead builder for Square One Villages and Carry It Forward Eugene. I'm gonna give a gift to the city I was asked to, and I'll just make it short and sweet. We have a problem in Eugene. We have a problem in Lane County. We have a problem in Oregon and the entire country, and that problem is the housing crisis. There's a lot of different reasons for the housing crisis, but I think at the core, the housing crisis is caused by the fact that if you're born without means and without land, and you don't figure out a way to procure land or real estate, your only option, your only means of sheltering yourself and your family is to pay tribute to a private landowner. It's the only alternative there is. It's a one-way system, and it's a system so outdated that we still sometimes refer to landowners as lords. I don't begrudge anybody making a dollar. I used to own land. I rented it out briefly. But I think there needs to be an alternative. So if I could gift the city of Eugene something, it would be a free place to live for our most marginalized and vulnerable people in our community.
Thank you, Gabe. We definitely do want to keep you building good things for us. We go now from one seeking to put people in their own homes to someone helping them stay in the homes that they already have. Ryan Moore is a local renter and housing advocate, and the co-founder of Springfield Eugene Tenant Association and Our Revolution Lane County. Ryan got his start as a progressive activist fighting for a better mental health care system. He serves on the board of the Laurel Hill Center and on the City of Eugene's Budget Committee. He has worked in the state legislature and held various roles at different local nonprofits. He describes himself as an LGBT millennial who seeks to bring a missing perspective to the Eugene City Council. We welcome you, Ryan, to this table at the City Club and look forward to your gift.
Hello, City Club. I'm grateful to be here with you and for all the work you do to better our community. When I was first invited to give a gift to the city, I was at a bit of a loss, to be honest. I thought, do I pretend to be handy and try and build something, hoping I survive the process? Or do I act like an artist and try and paint a picture, hoping you'll think it's just abstract instead of unskilled? Or do I give yet another speech, hoping I can hold your attention? So I went around and around on this, and I had a hell of a time deciding what to do, to be honest. What I landed on, I think, is a little bit of all of the above. I would like for us to use this space for all of us to build a sort of metaphorical self-portrait, and then use that for an important thought exercise at the end, but we'll get to that in a bit. So to dive into it, if you will humor me, take a moment to close your eyes, and I mean you watching this video now, close your eyes and picture with me your favorite place in your home. Maybe it's an armchair you've had for years where you do your reading. Maybe it's your cozy couch where you watch your favorite shows. Maybe it's your backyard where you play with your children or your pets. And with that in your mind, now visualize a painter's canvas sitting in front of you. It's blank, it's waiting to be filled with your experiences, your happiness and sadness. Everything that makes you, you will go on that canvas. So start this painting by picturing yourself, brush in hand, painting one of your happiest moments. Maybe it's your favorite sports team won a big competition. Maybe you celebrated an important moment in the life of a loved one. Or maybe it's something more abstract, like a general feeling of contentment you just carry with you wherever you go. Whatever it is, I want you to imagine painting that on the canvas in front of you. And next, you're going to flesh out some more details of yourself. Paint the landscape in the background and fill it with more experiences and thoughts that define you. This could be the day you met the love of your life, could be when your children were born or your nieces or nephews, that sense of happiness and joy you felt. It could be your proudest professional accomplishment or passion. Whatever it is, use those thoughts and feelings to fill in the background of this painting of your self-portrait. And now, hopefully your eyes are still closed. You should be able to see this portrait in front of you. You can feel the smooth texture as you run your fingers over the surface, even smell the fresh paint you used to make it. And I hope this self-portrait brings you immense joy and gratitude. And I hope you appreciate how beautiful that is and how amazing you are. So still picturing yourself there in your favorite place, the picture in front of you, I want you to pick up a sheet or a blanket or even a towel and place it over that portrait in your head, covering it completely. And here we are with that important thought exercise. When you imagine putting that cover over the portrait, I want you to also open your eyes and try and step out of your metaphorical shoes and separate yourself from everything in that portrait, everything that defines you. We're going to call the covering you just put over this portrait the veil of ignorance, which was named by John Rawls, a philosopher. This covering, it makes you a whole new person, disconnected from everything you put into that portrait that made you, you. And as this new person, You can't see at all what's under the covering. You have no idea what's pictured in the portrait. You don't know that person's proudest accomplishments. You've never met their family or pets. You've never been to their favorite and happiest places. You're totally fresh and new. My gift to the city is this. When you're out and about, living your daily life, I hope you'll bring this new person with you. When you see or experience something new, or even are having a discussion with someone you maybe disagree with, it can be a beautiful discussion, can be horrible, can be saddening, can be joyous. But if you carry this new person with you wherever you go, they might be able to lead you to a greater understanding and awareness of our shared reality and of this sometimes wonderful, sometimes maddening community we call Eugene. So thank you for going on that quick journey with me, and I wish you a restive, reflective, and happy holiday season.
Thank you, Ryan, for your gift. Our next guest is living proof of that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. That child was Sandra Shortridge. The village was Angoon, Alaska, a Tlingit village where she was one of 25 grandchildren. Her parents brought her here to Eugene in search of work when she was 13 years old, and that was a real culture shock for her. Now a mother of her own 5 kids, she seeks to keep the traditions of native cultures alive as a regular participant and storyteller at the Many Nations Longhouse on the campus of the University of Oregon. She has helped to organize a variety of things, including protests around Columbus Day that help to bring in the Indigenous Peoples Day to our state. Her volunteer efforts also include working on the campaigns of Congressman Peter DeFazio and Commissioner Val Hoyle. And now that the latter is running for the seat of the retiring congressman, I suspect she'll be working on that campaign as well. Making fried bread and serving in the Egan Warming Centers are also part of her busy schedule. In January of 2020, she was honored as a recipient of the Eugene Human Rights Commission Martin Luther King Jr. Community Leadership Award. Sandra is one of those unfortunate people who is dealing with a long infection from COVID and is still struggling with her speech, but in spite of that, she agreed to be with us anyway to share her gifts. So thank you, Sandra, for sharing with us today.
Hello, my name is Sandra Shortridge. I am Tlingit from Southeast Alaska, Angoon, Admiralty Island. I come from a matriarchal tribe and also moved here in 1973. The political climate has changed so much. It's been so crazy. You can't just go to a simple rally anymore without expecting so much opposition. I wrote a poem years ago, and I think it reflects some things that are happening right now. And here it is. You dig deep down inside, and in the craziest of moments when you're alone and the people you're counting on aren't there, or trying to convince you that the compromise or a completely wrong answer is the right way to go. And you know in your heart these answers are by God, so not right. Then you find this strong, beautiful woman, brown woman standing by herself, looking at you from the mirror. Smile, it's an old friend and will tell you are not alone. These tumultuous past couple of years, politically, health-wise, everything has just been crazy. I try to make sure people around me are doing all right. Just like my grandpa showed me. I come from a culturally rich family. And I strive to make sure that people are okay in my community. I've always been like that. I treat people as well as I can be. Try to teach my kids that. Forgive me, I have long-term symptoms from COVID. It's hard for me to breathe. You have a good day. Take care. Be good to yourselves and be good to others. Thank you. Gunashish in my language means thank you. Bye.
Sandra, we are so fortunate that you have chosen to make this village your home to help us raise our children here. Well, we began our gift search with the Slug Queen. We end with one of the real matriarchs of our community, a woman who earned a place of honor through her service and dedication to many. Lily Reynolds Parker was the academic advisor in the Office of Multicultural Success at the University of Oregon for 17 years. Many students credit her with helping them persist through the challenge of higher education and to earn a degree. She is one of Eugene's most esteemed elders and the daughter of Sam and Maddie Reynolds, one of the first Black families in our community. Lily started her social justice work while at Shelton High School, part of the first graduating class there, and actively involved with the civil rights movement in our community. She was the vice president of the local Student Nonviolence Committee, that organization founded by the famous Stokely Carmichael. A university website about Lily reports that she, quote, has an incredible ability to make anyone feel welcome from the moment you meet her. The number of life trajectories she greatly altered for students, their families, their children is innumerable. For someone born in Eugene in a house without running water, who was discriminated against throughout her life, who went to college at the age of 40, a single mother, it is impossible to overstate the impact she had at the University of Oregon, end quote. Appropriately, the university's Black Cultural Center was named in Lily's honor this past October in recognition of her years of service to the university and our whole community. Lily, we give you this place of honor as our last gift giver.
Good morning. Thank you, City Club, for allowing me to be a part of this program. I'll tell you, my gift for the city of Eugene is actually two gifts. I give to my community hope and love. As we look around today, we see a lot of divisiveness, a lot of fear, and a lot of mistrust. And yet we live in a community where people can come together and offer each other support, collaboration, allyships. We come from a loving community. I know this personally because I was born here. I've lived here for 75 years, and I know that we are capable of supporting each other. And it is important that we allow everybody a seat at our table of growth. Yes, we are growing. We're growing in population, we're growing in area, we're growing in our ability to reach out and touch each other. We're growing. And in order to sustain a healthy growth, we have to have hope for each other. We're living really in perilous times, and I'm not here to bring negativity to the show. I want to empower us to be the best that we can be, each and every one of us. Each and every one of us to reach out and touch somebody. There are so many in our community who needs to be touched. We have a large population of people who are living without a roof over their head, a large population who are hungry and worried about how they're going to feed their family. We have a lot of people in Eugene that are in need. And we have many here who are willing and able to fill those needs. So for my city, a city I grew up in, a city I have seen changing over the last 75 years, a city that I love, I have hope that our tomorrow is much brighter than our yesterday, and that the love will flow from heart to heart and breath to breath, no matter who you are, where you are, or how you are. We are our brother's keepers, Eugene. Let us share our love and let us all hang on to hope. Thank you for allowing me to have this time.
Thank you, Lily, and bless you. So there you go, 10 wonderful gift ideas for this community that we love, the greatest city for the arts and the outdoors and a whole lot more. May they come true, and may this holiday season fill you with good cheer. Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us here at the City Club of Eugene.
This has been our December 17, 2021 program, Gifts to the City. Before we proceed, I'd like to recognize our diamond sponsors. Kaiser Permanente exists to provide high-quality, affordable healthcare services and to improve the health of our members and the communities we serve. More information at www.kp.org. And support comes from the University of Oregon. Since 1876, the U of O has helped Oregonians question critically, think logically, reason effectively, communicate clearly, act creatively, and live ethically. More information at uoregon.edu. And Peace Health is proud to serve Eugene, Lane County, and beyond. As your hometown healthcare partner for more than 80 years, our mission is to keep you and your family healthy. Learn more at peacehealth.org. Lane Community College transforms lives through learning. LCC provides comprehensive, accessible, high-quality educational opportunities that promote student success. For more information, visit lanecc.edu. We also thank the generous support from the City of Eugene and from Lane County. I would like to acknowledge our Ruby sponsor, Johnson, Johnson, Lucas, and Middleton. Support for the City Club comes from Johnson, Johnson, Lucas, and Middleton, a team of experienced, compassionate attorneys fighting for justice. If you have been seriously harmed by wrongdoing and need help, contact us at justicelawyers.com. Our Sapphire sponsor is Summit Bank. Support for the City Club comes from Summit Bank, your local community bank, an independent community bank headquartered in Eugene. Summit Bank serves businesses and professionals in Eugene, Springfield, and Central Oregon communities. For more information, visit sbko.bank. And our gold sponsors, Network Charter School and Sacred Earth Botanicals. Before we thank our speaker today, I have a few quick announcements. Thank you so much to our in-kind sponsors, KRVM 91.9 Radio, Pack Info and Simplified Computing LLC, and Dotson's Photography. And a special thank you to public radio station KLCC FM 89.7 for airing City Club programs on Mondays at 7. Our programs are always available on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and our podcast. And now, a big announcement. We are pleased to be able to return to in-person meetings on January 7th. We will live stream the program as well as record it for YouTube, Facebook, and later KLCC and podcast. If you plan to join us on January 7th, Remember that we now meet at the First Methodist Church, not the Baker Center. The church is at 1376 Olive Street in Eugene, and it runs from noon to 1:15. To attend, you must have proof of vaccination and wear a mask. Lunch will be available. Of course, hosting live meetings relies on maintaining a lower rate of COVID infections in our area. If we must change our meetings, we will announce it in our weekly email about the coming program and on our website and social media, as well as a note on the door of the church. But we hope you will plan to join us either in person or remotely on Friday, January 7th. More details and information about future programs can be found online at the City Club's website, cityclubofeugene.org. Now, I want to thank today's speakers for a great program. I want to thank the Slug Queen, Holly, and Silky Booker, and Gabe Castile, and Karen Clark, and Aisha Elliott, and Roger Jensen, and Ryan Moore, and Lily Reynolds Parker, and Sandra Shortridge, and Beth Stein, and MC Dan Bryant. Thank you all so much for today's program. Happy holidays to everyone. Take good care of yourselves. Be well and be safe.